Good evening. My name is Nicole, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Microsoft conference. Please press star and 0. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Jeremy Singh. Please go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending our CRM Online and Rapid Start CRM webinar. We will be going over how to utilize the Rapid Start offering to help deploy CRM Online easily to your customers. Speaking today, we have JJ Antiquino, who is our partner technical strategist for Microsoft, and Steve Mordew, who is the CEO of ForceWorks, and which is a company that is offering the Rapid Start solution. So just going over some quick housekeeping notes before we get started. If there's any questions you might have during the webinar, please feel free to enter those in the Q&A box on the right-hand side. Please don't use the chat box and just use the Q&A panel to leave any questions. We are doing a random drawing today for an Acer tablet with keyboard, where one lucky attendee will be winning that prize. We will conduct a drawing after the webinar is done and contact the winner. So with that, JJ, if you could take it away.
All right, thanks a lot, Jeremy. And again, good afternoon, everyone. Glad you're able to join this. You know, CRM Online is a very strategic past. Hopefully you've had some Office 365 or Microsoft Cloud Services type of experiences. But I really want to impress upon you the fact that if you do not yet have a CRM Online practice in place, you should definitely look at the opportunity ahead of you. And that's kind of what my portion of this presentation is going to be about today. You know, I'm not going to dive into anything specifically technical, but I will give you some ideas about the opportunity, some of the features and benefits. We'll talk a little bit about the licensing as well, and then I'm really going to hammer it home with Steve to talk about how Rapid Start can really start kickstarting your business and getting you going with CRM Online today. So, when I think about CRM Online, customer relationship management means a lot of things to a lot of different folks. But, at its core, most of our end customers, right? I mean, we're all resellers on the phone, right? And we're thinking about, what can we do to build our business and to make our end customers more successful? It's about thinking about, are your end customers making the most of their opportunities, and how can you as a reseller give them a tool to help them make the most of their opportunities? Are they, as when you sell today, it's not just about, the salesperson on the phone. I believe it's 55 to 70% of the time, review perspective to figure out, what can we do to push that customer over the edge and move with us as a small business. So, if you're focused and if your customers are focused on managing opportunities and creating great customer experiences, then you're really talking about CRM. And CRM Online is really a collection of customer engagement solutions that you can use. And I know I kicked this off with talking about, selling opportunities and managing those opportunities. But once that sale has happened, how are we caring for those customers? How are we acquiring new customers and marketing smartly to our existing customers? What CRM really is a comprehensive business and technology platform. And I'll show you kind of a quick little day in the life of using CRM in one of my slides in just a little bit. But where I'm going to focus most 50 licenses of CRM Online to get started. We're finding some of these smaller businesses that are starting off with only 1 or 2 licenses to get their feet wet before they pass this on to the rest of the people inside of their organization. And as I mentioned, some people are daunted by the fact that, there's so much you can do. I mean, how can I really wrap my arms around this? JJ just talked about marketing. He just talked about service. He just talked about sales. The good news with CRM Online is you define your own path. You use the familiar tools that you've been using, and you go at your own pace. So, the likely story will be to start off with opportunity management. But from there, you might say, okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to adding in customer service components. Let's add in marketing automation and then that social media insight, and go from there and really, build this the way that you want to build it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend the services side of it, and then I'll show you a little bit about the pricing and the licensing. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in that Q&A pane, and we'll get to them by the end of the presentation after Steve's done talking about the great things that we can do with Rapid Start. All right, so when you think about sales and you think about opportunity management, first of all, for all businesses of all sizes, you need to have a tool that's going to allow you to have account and contact management. Again, like I said, small businesses of all types, they might use an Access database, or they might use an Excel spreadsheet, or they might still be using one of those Rolodexes, right? And so when we think about that, we want to be able to manage all of our customers and deals about them. But what we find also is that when I have a contact who is also friends with someone that I know, having that intro conversation is a lot easier. What about planning and management? As a sales leader in an organization, you want to make sure that your sales people are doing a great job, and the way you do decisions within CRM Online. So if we have some goals that we're trying to hit, let's make it fun, not just beat them over their heads with, hey, you're not meeting your number. So as I kind of mentioned, just the technical readiness aspect of it to, what tools do I need to use? What are the scripts I need to follow? And we can also do all of that through CRM Online. And where is the contextual aspect of that going to happen, right? So if I have a lot of pitch decks, or if I've created sales presentations or white papers, where do I place all of that stuff? How do I share it? We can make it very easy. If you have Office 365, for example, and you've used it in the past, you know that integrating that into CRM Online would be a natural next step. So if I'm creating Word templates and I'm co-authoring documents and I want to be able to access them, using the same things I've been doing from a CRM perspective as well as a traditional just collaboration perspective of Office 365, it's really easy to do that. And so once I've created a lot of these documents with Office 365 and CRM Online and we've put them in a common repository, if I have a big enough sales organization, right? People are going to wonder, what kind of documents are being successful in sales or marketing or service, right? What are some of those things that other people are looking at? And the Delve component of Office 365 integrated with CRM Online really helps us bubble up relevant content that's making individuals successful inside of a business. Let's not forget that, most of our sales folks, they're going to be doing business, over the phone, or they may be sitting in an office, but where they have those intimate relationships, where they have the ability to go out there and actually speak to their clients in person, they need to still be able to take CRM with them. And so we've created tablet and smartphone apps for Surface, for iPhone and iOS, for Android, because we want to make sure that all of our users are going to have access to the tools that they normally use, and then also the platforms that they normally use as well. Using Cortana and some of the voice commands that you have available to you on your device, you can go ahead and quickly schedule meetings, set reminders, quickly find information using the device that you currently have. And if there are instances where you're hopping on a plane or you don't have internet access for whatever reason, we want to also make sure that on your mobile devices you can work both online or offline. And so, once you've taken all this information and you've compiled it, you've put it into CRM, how do we really kind of predict what's going to be happening with this business? How do we analyze how well we did in the past versus how well we're going to do in the future? So, built in with Power BI and business intelligence dashboards, we can kind of get a sense of where we're being successful as a business. How are we doing in this specific area, the specific version, or in this specific vertical rather, or what country we might be successful in if we're an international company. So this is what I mentioned earlier, kind of like a day in the life of using the CRM platform. And you notice that in this flow chart, I'm not really going over you don't really see CRM specifically, right? I mean, if I'm an end user and I'm using the CRM as a platform, I'm really just using all the familiar tools that I've used with in the past, right? So here I am, I might be just on my mobile device and I'm checking my email, and as I check my email, I see that there's a lead that I want to follow up with, so I instantly use Skype to do a video conference with my lead, and we have some conversations. And while I'm having a conversation with that lead or that customer, I'm taking notes, right? I'm using that OneNote functionality that's built into Office and Office 365, and I do such a great job talking to my customer, and I really want to let everyone else know in my business about this specific deal, so I share it on Yammer, where I can get kudos, or I can have people congratulating me, or maybe have people give me some insight into why this deal, may go bad, or why I need more help in a specific area. So after that, I might be looking to close this deal here. So I need to discover some relevant documents, maybe some white papers, maybe some marketing materials that I need to send to my customer to really hammer home the fact that my business is the one that they should go with. And so then we start collaborating across the organization using tools like Outlook, and I'm finally going to create that proposal using PowerPoint and Word, right, and store that in a repository that that every other salesperson can get access to. We're going to generate that quote and share it with a customer, do it through Word and maybe share that document out and have it available on SharePoint Online. And then finally, manage that pipeline using Excel. So all this stuff, you don't really realize that CRM is the backbone of how this stuff is all being put together. So once we've actually, sold that deal, the customer's been closed, and we're moving on. We want to make sure that customer is happy. Right, and so we do that with the service components of Dynamics CRM Online. And we really built this on this unified platform where we want to make sure that you have a 360-degree view of your customer. You want to be able to understand that customer history, the preferences that customer might have, and that voice of that customer to personalize every single interaction, right? We want to know what makes that customer tick so that we can keep them happy and keep them coming back for more. As a customer service type organization, there are going to be different folks that do different tasks, and they may all have different roles. And so with CRM Online, the service aspects of it, we're able to tailor the visual interface for example, a Tier 1 employee versus a Tier 3 employee. If they're working with multiple cases, how do we manage those cases and provide the proper SLA? And so we've got great case management built into CRM Online. And again, once we start working with CRM Online, and we're working on a case, and we need to collaborate on the case because maybe one agent talked to the customer in the morning, and now the customer's called back and needs to have some more information. When I'm working on that case, I can see who worked on it last, and there's a little bubble by that person's name, and I can start a Skype conversation, and we can chat about how we can best help this customer who just called back in. If I do have some field engineers going out, taking care of things that the customer might need on site, I do want to set up some intelligent scheduling and also some mobile field enablement so that they can have real-time guidance when they're actually out there in the field, right? And so when I'm dispatching technicians, we're going to try to use optimized routes. We're going to assign schedules based on, the actual skill of our technicians. Someone might be great at, for example, fixing, a dishwasher, but they don't know how to fix a refrigerator. And so we need to have that intelligent scheduling set up so that we know that we're going to best suit our customers and give them the exact technician that they need. At the same time, if there are some of our agents working back in the office or even in the field, and after troubleshooting a specific item, they find out that there's a new bug or there's a new issue that needs to be resolved. How do we document that knowledge so that the next person who runs into this can use that same knowledge that we found to fix that? With CRM Online, we can create a unified knowledge base and also manage that content and also apply analytics to that content to find out if this is something that really needs to be addressed. So that one issue that came up, was that the only time that it came up? Or are people accessing this knowledge base multiple times and we're finding out that this is an issue that we need to actually fix in our product? Just like with sales, we want to be able to create interactive dashboards to find out, how well are our agents doing in taking care of our customers. What's our customer insight looking like? How are we trying to figure out, is our agent, being able to resolve the customer's situations and getting great customer service scores? Are they taking too long? A lot of these dashboards can be created inside of CRM Online so that we can, see what the trends and forecasting are looking like for our service organization. So, again, I went through that really quickly. We didn't dive into any specific scenario. I just wanted to give you a vision of all the things that you can do with CRM Online, because it's not just one little thing, right? There's so many different things you can do. And again, you take your time. You don't have to implement everything that I talked about for that customer. I like to look at this just like I do with Office 365 in general, right? I mean, a lot of times when you think about Office 365, folks are just thinking about email. They don't realize that they have now also harnessed the power of being able to do SharePoint Online or enhance their communications with Skype. I think that's the same way that you've got to think about CRM Online as well, and build this as a way that you can now go back in and have secondary conversations with your customers about implementing some of the new features that I said, right, that I talked about. You don't have to do it all at once. And again, Rapid Start's going to come on and show you how you can onboard customers very quickly. But before we get to that, I wanted to kind of show you what the basic licensing schematics are for CRM Online. And kind of how we break this out right here is by thinking about how we sell CRM Online today. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this or how much business you've done with Tech Data, but we've really gone through a kind of a revamp of how we really want to think about selling CRM Online and Microsoft Cloud in general. Because if you've been in this game for a long time, you may have known that we've sold CRM Online and some of our Office 365 Cloud products as advisor type products where the customer is billed by Microsoft and you receive a partner of record fee on the back end. What we do have right now are two solutions that we believe are going to be best fitted for your customers and working with Tech Data, right? And that's first the Open program, where you are able to sell your customers an annual SKU of CRM Online. And with CRM Online and Open, we are actually able to focus on customers as small as one seat. So if I have a customer who only needs one license right now and they might be growing later on, I can sell them one seat through the Open program. And that's actually a kind of a departure from when you're thinking about the Open program and having a minimum of 5 licenses. And that's one of the little things that the Open program does above some of the other programs that are out there. But what we've recently launched is the CSP program. It's been around for about a year, I would say, through Tech Data. And through the CSP program, now you get to be able to sell, transact, manage, provision, support, and scale those customers with CRM Online. And so, the way that process works is that Microsoft has now teamed up with Tech Data. Tech Data will sell you, the reseller, CRM Online through the CSP program, and then you in turn go in and sell and provision CRM Online for your end customer. And so what it really kind of looks like is, let me go and build a slide out right here, and at the bottom, you'll see that you will go ahead and create a cloud subscription partner offer. You set the package price and you sell it to your customers. You place the order for Microsoft Cloud Services through Tech Data, and then you offer that end customer a single package solution. And so what I'm trying to get at here before I get into the pricing of CRM Online is to really say that when I go to an end customer, I don't necessarily need to sell them CRM Online. I can sell them a customer management solution that that has a foundation in CRM Online from Microsoft, right? So I can build a custom solution for my end customer around the CRM Online from Microsoft, but I can price it however I want to price it. I can build this package and build them how I want to build them. I set the price, I set the terms, and I also go ahead and manage the subscriptions for my end customers. So to give you kind of a sense of what we believe is the hero SKU, it's the Dynamics CRM Online Professional Edition. So the estimated retail price for that is $65 per user per month. And that includes the things that you see on the screen here. It includes sales and marketing, customer service, and business management. It allows you to also be mobile and access, obviously, the Microsoft Cloud. But what we've also done is we've said, look, we realize that customers that are going to be using CRM Online, they're probably Office 365 customers as well. And so you'll see that we do have the ability for you to sell Office 365, especially the Business Premium plan, with an add-on of Dynamics CRM Online. And that's for a total of only $62 a month, right? So you're getting Office 365 plus you're also getting Dynamics CRM Online Professional. So you're getting the whole Office, Yammer, SharePoint Online, Exchange for basically a cheaper price. And what you see on the screen in the green areas are the approximate costs that you're going to see for CRM Online plus Business Premium Plan of Office 365 inside of the CSP program. So the estimated retail price minus what you see with CRM Online plus the Business Premium inside of the CSP program is kind of the margin you're going to have there. But these are just Microsoft prices. I would recommend you speaking directly to Tech Data and figuring out exactly what the offer that they have is going to be best suited for you, because Tech Data offers some great solutions as it pertains to providing support to your end customers as well. This is just showing you, the price of that Dynamics CRM Online add-on if you remove kind of just what it costs for that Business Premium on top of it. So again, the point I'm trying to make here is that if you have Office 365, adding on CRM Online, like you're seeing on this screen right here, is a pretty economical and value-based solution to give to your customers. So that's really all I had for now. Again, thank you for listening to me talk about CRM Online. But again, my portion is just to kind of get you excited about the opportunity. What I want to do is I want to turn this over now to Steve Mordew so he can talk a little bit about a solution that's going to accelerate your foray into CRM Online.
Thanks, JJ. Just advance this slide. So JJ did a great job, I think, of kind of giving you a high-level overview of the potential around CRM Online, and there's a lot. I mean, it's a big opportunity, and the fact that it's a big opportunity actually concerns some partners that are not in CRM, and I'm gonna kind of show you a way that you can take a bite of that big opportunity without taking any risk. And by the end of this short presentation, I'm going to try and show you how you can make over $500 a seat with Dynamics CRM Online. So there's definitely reasons to go down this path. Right now, there is no Microsoft solution that pays more than CRM Online. It's the highest incentivized SKU they have right now because they're highly motivated to move this product. And hang on just a second, let me switch a page here. So one of the things, and I talked to a lot of partners, we were a customer-facing partner for many years. We used to be a Salesforce partner, came over to Microsoft when they launched CRM Online. And we were out there shoulder to shoulder with you guys going after customers. We ended up kind of going the other way around. We started from CRM, and then we brought in Office 365, and we stuck a toe in Azure, and we were headed down that path. But really our roots were in CRM. And so we were focusing a lot of our energy on the white space in CRM, which was that SMB customer market, which is just huge. The enterprise CRM deals, the enterprise partners kind of got those locked up pretty good, but they're not that interested in that SMB customer. And until CRM Online was available as a cloud software as a service, that SMB customer couldn't justify the expense. But suddenly when he could just pay a monthly fee, that opened this opportunity up for all this SMB customers, and we saw that white space. But we realized with that customer that there were some challenges with getting them onboarded, and over time we had developed a model for doing that, which we call Rapid Start. I'm going to talk a little bit about. Microsoft kind of saw some activity happening in our account, which was abnormal, and that was that we were doing a lot of SMB CRM deals when nobody else was. And they asked us about this Rapid Start model that we had going on and asked if we would be interested in potentially becoming an ISV and making it available through partners. So this is about 1.5 years ago now that we started this transition from a customer-facing partner to a through partner reseller ISV. So we no longer, because some people ask these questions, we no longer deal directly with customers. We don't offer Office 365. We don't offer CRM Online new to any customers. We do have legacy customers still that we're continuing to support. And when partners come to us for help with advanced CRM, we'll work with partners on that. But we're no longer competing with partners in any of this space. So with that little bit of background, I want to jump to, I said Dynamics CRM is a big conversation, and for you to try and go through with your customer at any level of comfort, what JJ just went through with you is going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. to really be good at that conversation. And even further, when that customer starts asking questions, you really have to have a deep knowledge of that CRM landscape to have that level of conversation. But there's a way to have a little thinner conversation, and it starts by really just pulling some of the pieces out of that big conversation. In this particular deck, I don't know that JJ mentioned Dynamics marketing, but it's a common thing in all the Dynamics conversations, as is Parature, as is social engagement, which he did bring up. These are big products that actually are separate from Dynamics CRM. They stand up next to Dynamics CRM and will integrate, but they're not actually Dynamics CRM. They're additional products to be understood, sold, offered. So we suggest kind of taking those things certainly out of your thought process for that initial conversation. The other thing is I recently bought a portal company. He talked about fantasy sales. He didn't get into field service, but there's these other solution companies that Microsoft has bought to integrate into Dynamics, continuing to make this a more and more powerful program. But again, for a new partner getting started with CRM or in the SMB space, almost everything you're looking at on this page right here is probably not something they're going to need. There'll be some edge cases. Some of those SMB customers might have a need for one or two of these things, but very, very seldom. So you can be pretty safe in going out to the SMB customers without really even bringing up any of these items here. And you can see we're starting to get that dynamic CRM conversation a little bit thinner. We actually would recommend taking it even one step farther. And let's take all of these items, the SharePoint integration, Skype, Power BI, OneNote, OneDrive, and the interactive service desk. Let's set all of that aside as well as part of that initial conversation. And really what we're proposing for a partner, because this is a challenge that partners have told us they have had in the CRM space, is I'm just not comfortable having a CRM conversation. I don't know enough about the product to be able to answer questions. So what we're suggesting is let's take all of this complexity here out of it and really just reduce the conversation to something much simpler. And this conversation goes something like this. Everybody's got leads. They may call them something else, prospects, whatever they got. You've got them, your customers got them. Everybody has got leads in their business. Otherwise, they don't have any future business. They're all taking those leads and they're working them through a process that in CRM is called opportunities, where a lead, suddenly becomes like, hey, this guy might actually buy something. Okay, now this is an opportunity, and every one of your customers, just like you, will engage a different motion once you see somebody said, hey, I might want to buy something. We all get excited. We start activating resources and start pouring it onto that opportunity to make it happen. At this point, certainly our goal is to try and turn that thing into cash. I mean, this is the typical small business cycle for most small businesses, including yours, is we've got our leads out there. When they raise their hand, we want to go after that and try and turn it into cash. In the process of doing that, there's a couple of byproducts going to be created. Of course, accounts, the companies that we're dealing with, and contacts will be created. This is being done in a spreadsheet or Outlook or wherever they're doing it now. And then you essentially just want to repeat the process. And I'm sorry, it looks like my arrow broke, but that was supposed to loop around to our contacts and accounts to go in and sell them more opportunities. And this is the conversation. This is a conversation that can be had with almost any SMB customer out there, because almost any SMB customer out there is doing exactly this. They're generating leads, turning them into opportunities to get cash, and they're working with accounts and contacts to do it. Some of those customers, many of those customers, will also have some sort of process for if the customer's not happy, if they perform a service and it's not right, or somebody didn't show up on time, that they want to have some mechanism for communicating back with that customer. And that's what cases are all about in CRM. So I can't imagine anyone on this phone call would be uncomfortable having this level of conversation with a customer when we're talking about CRM. And if you frame CRM as, well, what this is really under the banner of opportunity management. This is a conversation you could have with any one of your customers. You don't need to be a CRM expert to have this conversation, because you're doing the same stuff in your business. So I don't know if any of you are CRM people. You may have heard the term Kodak. COLAC is kind of an acronym for these particular entities, which are considered the core entities of any CRM deployment, whether it's a small business or even large enterprise. It's these entities here, the contacts, opportunities, leads, accounts, and cases that kind of set the foundation for CRM. In larger deployments, obviously, there's a lot more stuff being built on top of that, but they all have that in common. So essentially what we're talking about doing is let's focus on those COLAC entities and leave everything else for later. So how does this actually look for an SMB customer, and what is the challenge for you today in getting that customer where you need to get them to? Well, you've got to get through this deployment phase. You know, you sell this customer CRM Online, even if you sold it to them as opportunity management, that simple conversation, nothing happens until you get this thing deployed for that customer. And that can go, you know, lots of different directions. Customer's going to want to have, you know, some customization maybe. They're going to want maybe have some data imported. They're going to need some help configuring. There'll be some stuff that needs to be done in this deploy phase. And for that SMB customer, this can't take very long. This has to be done very quickly as possible, because if it takes too long, then you start losing the customer's interest. You start having real challenges with getting them done. But that's not actually the hardest part of the problem. The hardest problem is right after that. And this has been a challenge for CRM at all size businesses, not just SMB, but it's even more acute in the SMB space. Is once you've got that thing deployed, as a partner, you kind of sit back, cross your fingers, and hope that they start using it. Because user adoption is one of the biggest challenges with CRM, and it always has been, and it continues to be a challenge for CRM. And if you can't get them over that hurdle there of adopting, they're going to churn out. And then you've wasted your time. You've wasted your time, your customer's time, if you can't get them over here to active use, which is the goal. Really, and I know Microsoft's been talking to all you guys about, we got to get these licenses, whether it's Office 365 licenses, whatever kind of licenses are out there, we have to get the customers using them, because if they don't use them, they could potentially cancel at any time. So the real goal is to get through that deployment, have that customer adopt so that we cross this little chasm here and get over to active use. That's the entire goal of what you're wanting to do initially, and that's, keep missing that little button. What that does then, once you've got them to active use, well, first of all, you've made money. Already you've made money because you got them at active use. The criteria for active use in my mind is that customer renews that subscription every month. That's the key. That's what your incentives are paid on, is that they're renewing that every month. So when we got them to active use, we've made money. We've got the incentives from Microsoft. We got our margin from Tech Data. We got regular money coming in. If you utilize the model I'm going to talk about briefly here in a minute, our model, there was margin on that you made. So you made a nice chunk of money even just getting them there. You may not want to do anything more with them than that. That could be the end of your CRM practice, if you will. But if you want to go farther, which you can either do by generating some skills in-house or partnering with another CRM partner that can help you take that customer farther, remember now at this point, you already own this customer. You are the partner of record. You have the billing relationship. So this is a lot different than going in with a partner new on a fresh deal. You have all the keys here. But then you've got this whole ramp of things to expand and generate more revenue from. We talked about Skype earlier, and that was a great time to bring that up to that customer, just turning on or showing them how to use Skype. It's turned on by default. OneNote, OneDrive, SharePoint, all of these pieces are all available now for you to come back and upsell to that customer once you've gotten active use. If you haven't gotten active use, you can't sell any of that stuff. So that's really the most important part, is getting them to active use as quickly and as inexpensively as you possibly can. And that's really what the Rapid Start CRM piece is about. Our goal is to work with you, and we'll show you how that works at the very outset of that engagement, right to where we just get them across into that active use. And our goal is really just to drop you right here so that you've got a customer at active use, you've made easy money, and you've got the opportunity to expand if and how you want to that potential revenue from that customer. So I'm going to jump over here to, I'm not going to get real deep into the details of Rapid Start, of what it specifically how it works. I'm going to cover some high level here in a second, because I think we have other opportunities individually to do that in a demo call or something like that. But I want to talk really more about, because we've done a lot of demos with partners, and the thing that seems to keep coming back up with the Office 365 partner in particular is this not really knowing where to start. You know, I see how we can be successful with Rapid Start, but I'm not exactly sure where to start. I've talked a little bit about, let's simplify that conversation so it's not an intimidation factor anymore like it may have been. And so here's kind of the plan that we put together for how to make money with CRM Online. You know, sell CRM simple. Go after your existing customers first. I mean, you've already got relationships out there, I'm assuming, with Office 365 customers that are happy with the service and happy with you guys. They've gone through that cloud transition. They know cloud. You're already dealing with them. They have a relationship with you. It's a very simple task to reach out to them either through you know, email or phone. Pick up the phone and say, hey, I want to talk to you about lead and opportunity management. Think of this as kind of a land and expand strategy. You know, you talk to them about Rapid Start, about how they can get CRM Online quickly and easily with Rapid Start, with this idea that, you know, in the back of your mind, once you've got that landed with active use, you've got an opportunity to sell more. One of the challenges I think that some of the partners get caught in is they start trying to oversell a little too early. When you're looking at that SMB customer in particular, I mean, if any of you are feeling like you are not completely up to speed on CRM Online, imagine the end customer. He knows far less than you do. So it's very easy with that end customer to take a conversation from, you know, let's look at opportunity management, have the customer nodding their head, and then start talking about some more advanced features and find that customer getting nervous and feeling like they don't understand what's going on and losing them. I've seen many, we get involved in some partner calls and listened to them where the partners really had a deal closed and then kind of kept talking. And they talked themselves right out of it because they get excited themselves about some of the capabilities. If a customer is asking to bring up some of these capabilities and talk about them is one thing, but talking about it in the context of, you know what, once we've got active use and your users internally are getting value from CRM, we should absolutely explore all of those options. But I'd try and avoid getting too deep too early with that conversation. You know, we obviously want you guys to sell Rapid Start CRM along with each one of your Office 365 deployments. There's a lot of reasons for you to do so. That's why Microsoft is promoting us so hard. The whole thing can be deployed in a matter of days, which for CRM is unheard of. We do provide the opportunity for it to be customized to fit an SMB customer's business. We built a baked-in training solution, so the customers aren't calling you to ask you things like, you know, how do I do stuff? And it's got a very low upfront cost with good margin. And then come back and upsell the easy stuff, the stuff that your team might be very well capable of doing, you know, some of the light customization, some of the easy add-ons like SharePoint, and then come back later and upsell the more complex stuff. Again, maybe your team is capable. If not, there's partners out there you can partner with that can help you take that. So real quickly, here's what the Rapid Start basically does. You know, we've got some solutions we install in that tenant for training, forms, and navigation. We've got some wizards, basically middleware that we have built for either you or your customer, and you decide to be able to go in and do the customization necessary to make it fit their business to get to adoption. And then what we're doing behind the scenes for you, because it's a complete turnkey solution, is we're setting up, customizing, and handling the go-live for you. So I promise you, and I see I'm running a little out of time here because I want to leave time for questions, I promise you how you can make $527.33 of revenue per seat. I will show you how that math works. So if we look at, say, a 15-seat deal, which is not uncommon in the SMB space, and he talked about $65 a month retail. This would be what you'd sell to that customer for. And we're looking at $11,700 a year of Microsoft revenue. And right now, the Microsoft incentives on top of your margin are somewhere on, or including margin from Tech Data, are on the order of about 30%, you know, all up. So we were looking at $3,510 there. So that's given I'm sorry, I lost track of what that next one was. Oh, the next one would be the Rapid Start model. So you could sell the Rapid Start model for $6,600 to that same 15-seat deal. That's well within the acceptable retail range for what that deployment model provides. We say somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. Your cost is only $2,200, so you're getting a 66% margin on that, giving you $4,400 of profit on Rapid Start. Obviously, you can lower that if you want to get more aggressive, but no reason to lower it if you don't have to. So that's giving you a total revenue on that one 15-seat deal of almost $8,000. If you divide that by those 15 seats, you're back at that $527.33. So this is not fake math. This works. We've got partners doing it right now. Here's a comment from one of our partners. I'm going to breeze through that really quickly. And here's a list of some of our partners. You may recognize some of these names out there. I'll jump to starting your engine today. What we really want you to do, of course, we're in Tech Data's marketplace. We want you to sign up as a Rapid Start reseller. You can go to rapidstartcrm.com. To do so, you'll learn all about what it is that we're doing there. You can arrange to talk with me, talk with anybody about what we're doing, or you can contact Tech Data and they'll help you get set up in there. You can purchase Rapid Start direct from us, but you're going to pay a 20% premium. We do that on purpose because we really want to drive this through distribution. That's our primary motion. So you save 20%, which is not insignificant when you buy through Tech Data. And there's literally no difference to you whether you do it direct or through Tech Data other than cost. So that wraps it up for my session. And I guess we'll turn it back over to Jeremy to see if we have any questions today.
Yep. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, JJ, for presenting. I think we got some really good info out there. So we'll go ahead and move to the Q&A section of the webinar. So if there's any questions, please use the Q&A panel. I'll get to those questions and I'll read them out, and JJ and Steve will answer them. So we'll give it a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions. All right, so we got one here. Someone asked, what am I required to do for Rapid Start?
Good question. As a Rapid Start partner, you kind of decide. At the minimum level, you don't have to do anything. You sell the CRM license to the customer the same way you would sell them Office 365 licenses right through Tech Data CSP Marketplace. You purchase Rapid Start at the same time. In our partner portal, you'll create an order with some basic information. What was the URL of the CRM that you sold them? Some basic information that you can put together and submit. And at that time, you can decide whether you're going to do the deployment or the customer is. This has been designed to where an end customer can do the deployment themselves. You check that box, and you're done. You don't have to do anything more than that other than just collect the revenue. If you want to do more, you can elect to make yourself the deployer, and then you can potentially wrap some additional kind of consulting services or helping the customer, some extra charge if you want to, and you would be kind of the customer's liaison with the Rapid Start wizards. So the least you have to do is almost nothing.
All right. So someone asked, I think someone asked, what's the price of CRM Online Rapid Start?
Yeah, well, Rapid Start CRM Online. Yep, Rapid Start CRM Online is available in the CSP marketplace for $2,200. That's the partner's cost. Again, the recommended retail price of Rapid Start is between $5,000 and $10,000, and the reason we know that price range is real is because we used to sell this model direct to customers in that price range. So we know that that is the price that customers are willing to pay. There's an add-on for the data import, which is, I think it's another $600 if you want a data import wizard. We made that separate because not every deployment utilizes. Sometimes a customer is starting completely green or doesn't have that much they need to start with, so we just made that a separate piece. If your customer is going to be importing some data, you just check a box at Tech Data when you make that purchase, and you can buy that.
Great. How do we show a customer what Rapid Start looks like?
Well, when partners sign up for our partner program, we'll do it. We'll schedule a time to do a demo to show you exactly what the whole program. We'll show you the whole thing, what the final deployment looks like, what the wizards look like, how it all works, everything, so you have a complete understanding. And once you've gone through that process, we then give you access to a demo tenant that CRM Rapid Start is already deployed on. So you don't have to, if the customer's wanting to see what it looks like, you don't have to pull up an out-of-the-box CRM and scare them. We'll actually give you access to a very simplified CRM that the customer can look at and immediately feel like it's something they could use and understand and not be intimidated by.
Great. Are there any more questions? Feel free to use the Q&A panel.
I see one in there for templates. So Kelly is asking if there's templates for specific entities such as nonprofits. For example, could a nonprofit use Rapid Start with a template that provides built-in tools for dealing with both donors and customers? Rapid Start right now is a horizontal model designed for opportunity management. So it really focuses on those entities that we discussed. It wouldn't be very difficult when a customer is creating their account in the wizard to have a category of, one category of an account is a customer, another category of account is a donor. So I would say yes, to be able to track and deal with donors and customers separately, they could accomplish that in the portal. This isn't really building specific donor functionality like tracking donations and things like that. That would require some additional customization beyond what Rapid Start would do. But to give them the ability to segregate customers and donors and track leads and opportunities, which could either be business or donations or grants or whatever they might be, yes, they could do that. But we don't have an option that you would check and say this is a Rapid Start for a nonprofit with donors. You would just use the same model, and it would be how it would be deployed.
Okay. Someone asked about outbound marketing.
Yep.
What is it, and how does it cost anything? Okay,
so somebody's already been to our website. Yeah, one of the things that many of our partners had said is, they'd like to have some help generating some leads. They're a little nervous about having the conversation and really don't know how to generate leads for CRM online deals, certainly beyond their customer base, but even within their customer base. So we launched a program a while back. We just actually relaunched it because there's been a new emphasis on it, where we will do outbound marketing for you. So when you sign up for our partner portal, you'll have an option to enter leads into that partner portal, and then you can elect to add that lead to our outbound marketing, and we will send your customer an email. There's a series of 5 of them, goes over a cycle of 2 months, about how wonderful CRM Online is for small business, how Rapid Start makes it very easy, and direct all of them right back to the partner. So the whole goal of this is to take your cold leads that you put in the system and warm them up and hand them right back to you. We do that at no cost. You can put in up to 100 leads at a time in that system. And you also have the ability to come back at any time and see what any of those leads might have done, if they clicked on something or if they went to your website or any of that sort of stuff. And there's no links back to any properties other than you. So they can't get back to Rapid Start. They can't get back anywhere except to your website or your email address. We've just kind of given them the professional messaging to try and push them over the edge for you.
All right. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the webinar. So thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, Steve, for presenting. With that, I think we'll call it a webinar. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This concludes today's webinar. We thank you for your participation and ask that you please disconnect your line.